I've got the tiger by the tail here in the form of Bio-electrode therapy. And I've been doing it for, 25 plus years. Back in August 1989, I went down to Portland and I was introduced to the National Acupuncture Detox Association, the NADA as they call it, with a very simple protocol for treating addictions using acupuncture in the ears. But I was also introduced to harm reduction. At the time we were using a hardcore abstinence-based model here in Vancouver, in Canada. And down there they were using acupuncture, they were using drug courts, they were using housing, wet, damp, and dry housing. They were very progressive, and they continue to be progressive. But nowadays that model is not working. It truly is not working. It's not strong enough. I mean, in those days we had a lot of people on the street addicted to opiates and so on, but now things have changed. They're mixing opiates with benzos, and they have fentanyl and carfentanil and all kinds of other variations of highly addictive medications. And with bioelectrode therapy, it doesn't matter what the medication is, what the degree of severity of the detox withdrawal management is. It works. It treats the complex underlying issues, pain issues, which people were prescribed for in the first place. So it's a broad application for many of the addiction-related conditions, pain, and diseases. It's been frustrating because I'm not able to get the people in power, the politicians, the addiction directors and managers to acknowledge this. I've very seldom ever had anybody come in and watch what I do. I see clients on a regular basis, and I see the skeptic turn into a powerful advocate. I've seen the skeptic turn into peer support workers who are wanting to incorporate bioelectrode therapy, and that's the way I'm going to do it. I will train peer support workers. Outreach workers can go out and deal with people on the street or in their homes to kind of assist them in their withdrawal management so they don't have to go up and down, and so they can get a night's sleep and they can overcome their craving and anxiety and depression and so on. My ideal is to incorporate bioelectrode therapy along with biopsychosocial in the detox centers so people can endure detox painlessly, actually. In outpatient counseling so they can follow up the detox with counseling support and nursing support and so on. And ultimately in drug and alcohol treatment centers. That's where I'm currently have been for the last 13 years now. And I love it because I'm dealing with motivated individuals to come in and embrace treatment. And the bioelectrode therapy makes it a lot more manageable for them because they can treat their post-acute withdrawal symptoms. They can treat their craving and their anxiety and their insomnia and all the pain and misery that they have before they got into drugs and so on as a medication form of treatment. And then ultimately the peer support workers, because they have the freedom, and they're paid workers. They're paid to go out and guide people through recovery on the streets and in their homes and so on. And they speak the language, and they've had their peers. They've been there, done that. And therefore, I believe that the peer support workers will embrace this approach of bioelectrode therapy, this simple, effective. Ultimately, they may start using it not just for opioid withdrawal and detox, but also for treating pain problems, because it's not a stretch to learn how to do that. And no real licenses or, prerequisites are required. You can just get my app and get a hold of the electrodes and go to town with it. And you can you can be empowered to treat yourself by providing that service to others. In my life, I have to say that I've never found a more meaningful vocation than working in the field of addictions. As a nurse, I was dealing with the medical model. And even in the field of addictions, I'm dealing with the brain disease model, which utilizes opiate replacement therapy. I'm not saying we should or I should replace opiate replacement, but it certainly would be a powerful adjunctive therapy along with opiate replacement therapy to keep people calm, relaxed, sleeping through the night, and so on, improving bowel function, because it's still an opiate with a whole lot of side effects to it. By adding bioelectrode therapy to opiate replacement therapy, people will be much healthier and capable of sustaining recovery. But I would also like to give people an opportunity to be free of opiates altogether. And ultimately, was the purpose of opiate replacement therapy, was ultimately with the objective of being drug-free. But with bioelectrode therapy, that can be on steroids. You don't have to have that prolonged agony of up and down of opiate replacement therapy and cut downs and tapers and whatever you want to choose to call it. You can adopt bioelectrode therapy and you can have a smooth road to recovery. I'll be going to Asia in October of 2025, later this year. And I will be approaching detox centers, the biggest detox center in China, and a number of them in Thailand. And I will present bioelectrode therapy. And I'm sure they will be receptive because, a typical hospital in China has not only the medical model with various medications, drug therapies, but they also have massage therapy, big departments. They have acupuncture departments. They have herbal departments. And they have Qigong departments where people are using, Qigong masters are actually treating people just with energetically, with directing the people's qi through, again, their own personal being chi masters, directing their chi towards disease and pain conditions. And they're highly effective and they're fascinating. And I'm sure they will embrace bioelectrode therapy. But I'd like to be happening here first. And I'd like to be part of cleaning up the streets in Vancouver, helping the homeless, helping this despair and suicides and, people living in cars and sleeping on streets. And we lose 6 or 7 or 8 people a day here in British Columbia from overdosing and suicides. I think there's probably many more that are not really accounted for. So I'm committed. And I won't stop until it is embraced. And I hope that the local authorities in Vancouver will look at my proposals in all seriousness and talk to people and look at my testimonials. I've got hundreds of testimonials of clients who've experienced bioelectrode therapy. Look at those testimonials. One thing about people on drugs, they're not going to bullshit you. They're not going to tell me this doesn't work, this is nonsense, this is stupid. They try it, they like it, they love it, they embrace it. And often many of them want to learn it. And there you've got peer support workers. And so I will train these people in peer support. And I will approach peer support schools. And I will suggest this could be an adjunctive tool for people who are working with people on the streets to help them leverage their power and guide people into recovery, true recovery, drug-free recovery. So that's pretty much a wrap. I'm committed to getting different organizations, making them aware with different proposals, and people are, reluctant to try new things. They're trying new ways. This opioid crisis is so entrenched, with many people trying to find new ways, safe support, safer solutions, and people who can keep on using because they're terrified of coming off of it because it's too prolonged and too painful. But with bioelectrode therapy, you can overcome that. People can try it. They can see the evidence, watch the videos, watch my YouTube channel, and maybe they can be convinced to try it and find an outreach worker, peer support worker. Go to a detox center, because detox centers and outpatient counseling and treatment centers, they're much more efficient and effective if they adopt this approach. But enough talk, and I appreciate your attention, and that's a wrap. Thank you.